Hi and welcome to this DCP tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to add 3D tilt mouse tracking using Elementor Pro. Before we start today's tutorial, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get free access to all of my 800 plus video tutorials. Okay, so I'm just on my development website. This is the one that I'm making at present, so I thought I'd use this as a good example of mouse tracking, 3D tilt mouse tracking. So as I move my mouse, you can see this object here is following the mouse right around the screen, and you can do this in Elementor Pro quite easily. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do this or how to implement it. You can add it to images, you can add it to text content, still images, like these little slider animations. You can do it to pretty much anything within Elementor, right? So let's go to a sample page. Let's go to this WordPress page. And as I move my mouse, you can see this object is not following using the 3D tilt. So let's show you how to set that up by going to Edit with Elementor. And we'll go ahead and click on that particular object. So we'll just wait for it to load fully. Few seconds, and then we can go ahead and click on this little pen icon. That will be all of the images in the sequence here. So I'm using the image carousel here, and maybe I'll show you how to use that a little bit later. Or if you want me to make a tutorial on this image carousel, then do let me know. Write a little comment in the YouTube description, and I'll show you how to create something like this. Let's go to advanced here, and under advanced we've got the motion effects here, motion effects. And I want to enable mouse effects here. So if I click mouse effects, there's two options. There's mouse track and there's 3D tilt. So I'm going to show you 3D tilt today, and I'll show you mouse tracking in another tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and click on the little pen icon here, and there's two options. There's either direct or opposite, but for now I'm going to leave it on direct. I'm going to set it to a value of 3. So now when I move my mouse, you can see that the object will follow in that particular direction. It will tilt into the particular direction, which I think is quite a nice effect. This doesn't really work on tablets so much, or mobile phones. It will work if they mouse click, or if they click their thumb in the top corner over here on a mouse or on a tablet, then it will tilt to that direction. But it typically works a lot better on something like a laptop or a desktop computer with a mouse pointer, right? Tracking the mouse. So you can increase or decrease this value. So if I increase it quite a lot, then you can see it's quite dramatic. I think that's a bit crazy, but you know, it's your website, you do as you please. But I kind of set it to around 3 because I think 3 speed, or the value is pretty good, right? It looks fine at that sort of value. And you can set it to opposite, and then as I move my mouse across, it's going to just inverse that 3D effect. So as I move it to this side, it tilts more in that direction. In the opposite direction, that's basically what it's doing. So I'm going to leave it on direct because I kind of prefer that, and I think that's really all I'm going to do with the 3D mouse tilt. I kind of like it like this. Now you can apply that to buttons, so we can click on the button here, we can go to advanced, we can go back to the mouse effects, and then we can go to mouse effects here, or motion effects first, and then mouse effects right here, then 3D tilt, and we can, right, the default is 4, so that's quite high. We can set it to 3, and now you can see the button has that same effect as well. I would use this quite sparingly. You know, you don't want loads of things moving around with a mouse, it will get quite confusing. But if you want to emphasize something like this particular picture here, I kind of wanted to emphasize it, then I think mouse tracking works quite well on that particular object. On buttons, I wouldn't say so much, so we can go ahead and click on that button again, and we can go to the 3D tilt, and we can just set that to 0 value again, and then we can just turn it off, and our button will be back to as it is. You can apply this to text as well, so we can click on a text object, go to advanced, go back to our motion effects, mouse effects, then we can enable 3D tilt, and then we can 3D tilt text like this as well. Sometimes that's quite nice if you're creating some sort of quite large banner or something like that and you want some sort of movement in there, then you can do that as well. I'll show you a quick example of where I've used this on another project. So let's just go ahead and exit. In fact, we'll update this first because I want to keep that effect there. And let's just show you where I've used that on another project. So if we go to portfolio, and let's have a look at this website called Beer Keller. This is like a German beer. If you like Germany and if you like beer, this is the place to go basically. But if we go to view website, this is the site I built for the client, and I'm using slider animations in here and other stuff. But if we go to like Euro football, for example, and I'm not really using the 3D tilt here, but I'm using the mouse tracking here a lot. So you can see as I move my mouse, the objects move. So this is a good example of like mouse tracking with the objects as well. So I'll show you how to kind of do something in this sort of style as well. Maybe this one here. This one's got a bit of a 3D tilt to it as well, because you can see it's kind of tilting as well as I move. I think we did one on this page as well. So this one's more like sort of a parallax style. This is quite creative as well. Got this axe chopper. That one's using the 3D tilt. So as I move my mouse, you can see it's kind of tilting in that direction. So that is actually using the 3D tilt, whereas this is using that particular function. So that's kind of what I've done on that particular page, or those pages there. I just wanted to show you active on a live website that's functioning properly. Okay, so that's the end of this tutorial showing you how to use the 3D tilt mouse tracking using Elementor Pro. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can access all of the 800 video tutorials I've created, and you can gain some new skills and knowledge. I look forward to seeing you in the next DCP Web tutorial.